I want to talk about how to correctly handle relapses, why it takes such a long time to handle them properly, all the mistakes that I made on my journey to where I am today. And these are the things that are usually glossed over or not covered enough in many other channels, because there are things that you're doing inside of your relapse and your spike that you don't even notice that you're doing that are really holding you back. So before I go any further, as always, Phil at OCDrecovery.com. Please come in for a one-to-one in our webinar services, which are a blast. There's nothing really like it. Sam and I were just talking in voice notes a couple seconds before I turn this on. You all know Sam Williams from the YouTube channel, severe POCD, similar to Gemma and Jade. I mean, when he came in, he didn't want to be here anymore, like all of us. I didn't want to be here either. And we all pushed through and persisted, broke down our beliefs, didn't try to convince ourselves why it was just OCD, all the mistakes that so many people make. We didn't do self-reassurance. And a lot of those things I'm going to talk about in this video. And the webinars are great. People love them. The last couple have been over 100. Huge questions and answer section. Rob and I going back and forth on different examples. And then we will go from there. Hopefully see you there. So the most important thing to remember regarding relapses and spikes, it doesn't really matter what we call them. We call them that for educational purposes, but we never actually need to call them anything. They're just part of the journey. You're just moving forward in time. So when you are having a very bad moment or a bad couple weeks, maybe you haven't done a compulsion in a while. This is one that I can relate to a lot. Gone a long time without doing a compulsion. Then I did a compulsion and it brought me backwards. Then I berated myself. My symptoms would go boop, 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 boo. And then I would do another compulsion because my symptoms would get so bad and I was stuck in that loop for a while. Sometimes that type of stuff would happen for 6 months of the shot. So making changes to your structure of your life in the moment is usually where people go wrong. Let me use some practical examples I saw over the last week alone. If you don't struggle with alcoholism, you're not an alcoholic and you can more than likely balance alcohol. Now, it's a personal choice, but this idea that having 1 or 2 beers a week is terrible for your health is just certainly not true. This is what humans did all throughout history. Beers are amazing. Whiskey is amazing. But there are people out there that cannot balance that. I'm one of those people that cannot balance video games. When I play, I can play for 30 hours straight without sleeping. Anyone that knows me, the guys I played with for 10 years competitively, I was very bad. There's many times I'd be like, let's go another game. And my buddy would say, we've been playing for 24 hours. I'm going to sleep. And I wanted to go. And I was destroying other aspects of my life, etc. That is the case for some people with drinking. For most people, it's not. And that's a case-by-case scenario. And comparing yourself to other people isn't good. So you'll go, I had to give a preface to this example. Ooh, I felt really good. I was drinking. When I woke up, I had a hangover. My OCD thoughts were bad, or symptoms, images, urges, DPDR. I'm going to cut drinking for a while. Do not do that. That is a big, big mistake. Same thing with caffeine. Oh, no. You know, I had 2 coffees yesterday instead of 1, and my symptoms got really bad. I'm good. No, it affects your adrenals, adrenal fatigue, and then it affects, stop Googling, stop going down that route. If you want to have coffee, handle it on a case-by-case basis. Some days I might have a little bit too much coffee. Some days I don't have a lot of coffee. I might have 1 or 2. There's been times where I've had 8 cups in one day. I don't recommend that. Very stupid behaviorally on my part, but it's happened. I don't berate myself from that. But OCD is always looking for you to make a change. That's one example. Here's another example. This is the common one that people do. You have a spike in any, I'm going to say, from now on, I'll just say a spike in any symptoms. Just imagine how you can feel good and then you don't feel good. You know what? I got to go back and watch the YouTube videos. There's things I'm not catching. I didn't get it perfectly. I'm going to go back and read the books on the reading list. I'll just pull out the old Ellis. It's not that big of a deal. No, it is a big deal. Don't do that to yourself. Don't pull out Ellis. Don't go back to the tools that quickly. It's very subtle. So many people make that mistake. When you're having a spike like that, the only thing that matters is to not make any change as best as you can. If they are, they're going to be subtle changes, but not right away. Again, this took me years of practice, getting further in between my relapses and backdoor spikes as I progress forward. I'm not going to make any changes. I'm not going to read the books. I'm not going to watch the YouTube videos. I'm not going to decrease my work. I'm not going to make any dietary changes in the moment. Sugar, gluten, dairy, all these type of things that genuinely feel inspirationally correct are quite problematic as you're going throughout the spike. And then also accepting that that spike could last a little bit longer than you want. So, oh, I don't have any water. It's out. So that is something that I did that held me back so much. Every spike I had, I would fall into the doom loop of, I got to change something. I'm not making enough progress here. What could be different? Nothing needed to be different, although OCD was convincing me in the moment that something needed to change. What actually needed to change was how much I was changing things in the moment and push through. Remember, when you're having a spike, in the moment you believe there's something substantial that needs to be done, a call to action. OCD is very good at the call to action. It wants you to think that something needs to be changed, but nothing needs to be changed. The only thing that needs to be changed is how you're making change. I know that sounds weird, and you're thinking, what? But the only thing that needs to change is you making changes in the moment, not complaining, not venting, not self-reassurance. People will be pretty good with that. They'll have a spike and then they start self-reassuring, oh, it's just your OCD flaring up. Don't call it that. It's just part of your OCD journey. Remember that it's always about beliefs. How are you viewing your worst case scenario? How are your behaviors going? Those are the things that matter for long-term success. What doesn't particularly matter is how you're feeling on a moment-to-moment basis. That is the foundation of Stoicism. What is in your control? Not venting, not complaining, pushing forward, getting back to work, allowing yourself to feel distracted, allowing rumination to be present. Let's talk about that for a second. So when people have a spike, usually their rumination takes a big uptick. Now, some people, they are ruminating and then they're engaging, trying to solve. Understandably, you're doing a lot more added fuel to the fire, but there's an automatic fire. It's like when the grill's on the lowest setting and there's a little bit of a fire. Some of you turn that grill up all the way and the flames are shooting out of the grill to the side. You're trying to solve that. But a lot of that automatic starting of the grill at the low 1 to 2 level on the 10 dial, that is very automatic. That will have to be left there. But Nick, how do I leave it there? It feels so urgent. I have to solve it now. You're going to have to learn how to not solve that and allow that to be there as you go throughout your day. Nobody escapes OCD and anxiety recovery without numerous backdoor spikes and relapses, again, whatever you want to call it. Some of your best days will be followed by your worst days. I've had numerous days where I felt no symptoms whatsoever and my beliefs felt sound. They felt sound and embodied. And 24 hours later, I woke up like I made no progress. Instant panic, jolt to the wake, numerous pulls to do compulsions and avoidance behaviors, and then I would fail, then I'd have to learn. Then I would fail and have to learn. The thing is, when we come in, we're so sick of suffering. Some of us have been to 7, 8, 9 different therapists and coaches, inpatient centers and outpatient centers, well-intentioned individuals trying their best to get you better, but just not really providing that much good information because it's so difficult to understand this disorder without living it day in, day out. Then you start to recover. Then you feel separated. Then some anger can come for some people. Then loneliness comes for some people. There's so many aspects of this journey as you're transitioning throughout the entire process of changing your beliefs and changing your behaviors and working on your structure. So again, the thing that matters the absolute most when you're going through a spike is I do not need to make any change right now. The only difference between yesterday and today, if it's on a day-to-day basis with your spike, is the way I'm feeling. Soldier through, feel the DPDR, feel the emotional changes. You can push through. You don't have to make changes the way you think. So let me know what you think about this video. If you want to see more videos on relapses and spikes, please let us know. Hopefully we do another big Real Talk soon. I haven't been on a Real Talk in a long time, and those are very important to come to. And Phil at OCDrecovery.com. Again, one more summary. When you're having a spike, the only thing that matters is you're living your life exactly as you would if your OCD wasn't present. I know it's hard, but just repeating to me all day it's hard is not going to change how hard it is. You can do this. You can push through. Enjoy the rest of your day.